Never thought that it'd be so simple, but I find a way, I find a way. If you open up your mind, it's gonna take some time to realize. But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find. Over your shoulder, you know that I told you I'll always be picking you up when you're down. So just turn around.
Welcome back, AHS. I'm Corey Bulin.
And I'm Tiffany Flanagan.
And this is
The Res. Spring has finally descended upon us.
Yes, like a phoenix rising from the ashes of winter, spring soars and brings joy and happiness and flash floods to all.
It also brings bluebonnets and the curse of a Broadford pear.
Yes, spring, a time where flowers bloom and all nature flourishes. The first day of spring begins the vernal equinox, which we have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. The term vernal in Latin means spring, and the term equinox in Latin means equal night.
Spring is the season of new beginnings, a time of light and harmony. With holidays like spring break and the upcoming Good Friday for Easter, I love spring so much.
Speaking of loving spring, hey JC, didn't you ask this week's A-Walking question?
I sure did. This week, I went around asking what y'all's favorite thing about spring was. This is what y'all had to say. What's your favorite thing about spring?
Soccer. My favorite thing about spring is sitting in my room sneezing.
My favorite thing about spring is Easter.
My favorite part about spring break is when Lil Mine's mixtapes dropping.
JC, play me something good.
That's all I can do.
Play hot cross buns.
What?
Play hot cross buns.
What? Oh wait, how do you play that again? I don't play that.
Where am I going to smoke a
Tiffany, that's 5 minutes. You're happy.
That's Ethan. Ethan, you can smack her. She's touching your stuff. Hey.
This thing is hard to play.
Keep going.
No. This is $5 ball. Everybody was doing that anyway.
Oh, like this was new, really?
Well, I mean,
Okay, hey, we got to clean up.
My favorite thing about spring is the weather and Cindy Marvin's birthday.
My favorite thing about spring is spring break.
My favorite thing about spring is the tornadoes.
The spring break.
My favorite thing about spring is all the animals. All the wonderful allergies you get.
my favorite part of spring break is doing absolutely nothing for an entire week.
Flowers.
My other favorite thing, though, is going to the park and watching the kids play. It's good days.
Looking like the sunburnt version of the wet chicken nugget I am.
I don't like anything.
The flowers.
Those are some really interesting answers. My favorite thing about spring is that I got to turn 18 this year. Now back to you guys.
Now that spring has arrived, I need to keep a track of my vegetable garden.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but there's something I do keep track of. Hey, Zach, how are Indian athletes doing?
Let's find out in this week's Res Sports.
He may be the greatest athlete of all time. There is mustard on the lettuce.
Last Friday, tennis had a tournament at Lamar. Softball and baseball both had games against Glenrose. Boys soccer played a game against Crowley, and girls soccer also played a game against Crowley, so let's see some highlights of that.
It seems what's left of my human side is slowly changing in me. Will you give it to me? Looking at my own reflection, when suddenly it changes, violently it changes.
Saturday, they lost that game 2-4. Carrollton boys had a state meet at Abilene on Saturday. On Monday, baseball and softball had games against Venus. This Thursday, track had a meet at Grandview. Baseball played a game against Heritage. Boys soccer had their bi-district game against Diamond Hill. Softball played Heritage, and girls soccer had their bi-district as well against Kennedy. Well, that's all for this week's Res Sports. Back to you guys.
I can imagine the perfect spring morning. I wake up and go to the kitchen, pajamas on, and brew up a nice hot cup of coffee with some sugar, as I gaze out through the window in the morning light, just talking with my friend.
Well, we don't have all that, but we do have an interesting interview in this week's Indian Interview Time.
They were singing, my, it's Indian Interview Time, where we interview some Indians and have a good time. So sit back and watch this interview time, 'cause it's Indian Interview Time, Indian Interview Time.
Hello HS, I'm Devin Wilson, and today I'm here with the Reds' very own Mr. Neary.
Hello.
Now, Mr. Neary, is spring your favorite season?
Spring is my second favorite season. My favorite season is summer, but I do love spring. I do not like fall, and I despise winter. But spring, I love when spring comes around. It's the end of winter, finally. Yeah.
Alrighty, so what are some of your favorite hobbies to do in spring?
Well, when spring comes around, I know that the fish are about to start spawning when the Bradford pear trees start to bloom. Now, I like to go, and the spring is here, so I can go kayaking, I can go jogging, I can go biking, I can go outside again and do fantastic stuff that I wasn't able to in the stupid cold of winter.
When would you say that spring begins?
I say, I look at those Bradford pear trees, and when they turn white, I know spring has arrived. So a lot of times it's not a specific date, because I know my family living in Oklahoma, sometimes they'll have bloomed here and they haven't bloomed there yet. So I'd say spring is here now, but it's not there yet.
Alrighty.
And that's what triggers spring for me. I know with spring, you have some of the other things that aren't so good with spring, allergies. Something sprouted or blossomed, or I don't know if it was oak or what it was yesterday, but it hit me like a Mack truck. That's why I sound like this. But that's okay. I'm okay with my allergies because spring is here. I can go outside. I can do stuff.
When would you say summer starts and spring ends?
I think summer starts when we get out of school. That's summer. You know, one of the reasons I like spring so much, especially summer, is because I grew up on Guam. Guam, we don't have seasons. In fact, I was talking with Zach earlier. We were talking about Thailand. And Thailand has two seasons. There's rainy season and not rainy season. There's not like a dry season. It still rains, but it's not like the rainy season. One of the holidays that they have in Thailand is it's this holiday where you imagine the whole country, everybody, gets involved in a massive water fight. They all have water guns and everything in the streets, everywhere. Samkran. And everybody is in on this water fight. So you can't go anywhere without getting squirted with water. It's a blast. It's so fun. You imagine Bangkok, bigger than any city in the U.S. Just millions of people. And everybody is in on this water fight. It's fantastic. You can't do that in the winter.
I was raised in Hawaii, and the only we didn't really have seasons. It was always one type. It was usually summer, and it was always between a 70-degree weather, and we would occasionally get rain, but it was always sunny. There was a very beautiful place.
I love Hawaii. I've got family in Hawaii, too. So you're a haole in Hawaii, huh?
No. I was raised there because of military family. And my dad got the offer to be stationed there on his boat, and yeah, it was a very beautiful place. Strange weather.
Haole's just a white person.
And that's all for this week's Indian Interview Time. Thank you, Neary, for showing up. Hope you guys have a wonderful spring.
Spring really is my favorite season of the year, though.
Yeah, it's the perfect time of the year to just kick back, relax, and read a good book.
I'm sure it is. So let's find out about perfect books in this week's Wig.
Good morning, AHS. We hope you've had a great start to the spring season. We're here today to talk to you about a few things. The first thing is the North Texas Teen Book Festival. The North Texas Teen Book Festival is a great day to celebrate authors and learn all about their new books. So come by the library if you would like a permission slip or more information. I also want to talk to you about the dress promotion. Prom is coming up. If you need a dress, shoes, or a purse, or any type of accessories, go by and look in the library at this poster or the one that's going towards the exit doors, or even go talk to Miss Isclaw, because the dress is an awesome promotion and it's a great way for you to get some things taken care of for prom. Now, Abram's just not standing here to look pretty. He also has some information to give to you.
If you want to join TOB, you can come by the library and get an application.
That was riveting. Thank you, Abram, and have a great day, AHS.
I remember I would wake up on spring morning and go watch cartoons as a kid. Just like Johnny Test, it was so funny.
I'm here to tell you what else is funny. It's time in which we highlight the skilled,
the funny,
the silly,
and the talented.
It's time for this week's Shenanigans!
Hello, I'm JD Frazier, and I'm here to talk about why we didn't put out an episode last week. The res, we go to a 48-hour film challenge. This is where we have to put a video together for 48 hours. And the requirements were we had to have a longhorn in our video, it had to be 5 minutes, and there had to be an element of truth in it. I'm here today to talk to the leaders of both videos, Alvarado Team 1 and Alvarado Team 2. So I'm here with the captain of Alvarado Team 1, Corey Buehlin.
Hey JD.
Before we watch our video, would you like to tell us the process and the thinking behind it?
Well, our video was, of course you already know, we had to have a longhorn, truth, and it had to be 5 minutes. But our video also was a parody. So whenever we were thinking of parodies, we're like, okay, what's a good movie we can parody? And we were thinking, and it took forever, but finally we're like, wait, why don't we just do Groundhog Day and replace the groundhog with a longhorn? So then we just kind of did that and we spat it out as a video. It did not do very well. It was not a very good video, as you'll see. But I think that there were some parts of it, some elements of the video, which I thought were pretty good, like this. You'll just see. You'll see about it.
Yeah, and here's the video. That was interesting.
To say the
As you
least.
can tell, we won every award there was. Corey, how do you think we did?
I think that was a poor video on our part. We could have done so much better. But again, like I was saying before, there were good parts, like as you can see the slap or the cloud thinking whenever I went like and it faded into clouds and it was me and JC holding our hands for that was pretty good. And then the intro and the credits were okay. Those were pretty good. But then like there were some parts of the video where you're like, why is he with this man? Why did he just go from super duper angry to helping some dude? Like there were parts of our video which could have been fixed if we had a little more time or if we were a little more prepared, which we obviously were not. It was our first time going as sophomores, being our first res member year, so we will definitely do better next year though.
Of course. Well, thank you, Corey. Good job on that video. We did great.
Yeah.
Now I have with me the captain of Alvarado Team 2, Slater Martin. Hello, Slater.
Hello, JD.
Slater, before we watch your video, would you like to tell us the process and design behind your video and what all is in it?
Well, our genre was sci-fi, so we kind of had to dig into that and say, well, what is sci-fi? It's science fiction. And we didn't really want to do some alien fighting movie, because that Cowboys versus Aliens doesn't really go that well. So we decided to take an older spin on it and do the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. And that went pretty well, honestly. Yeah, but the problem is that when I wrote the script for it, I wrote I exceeded the amount of time that was needed, that was required for the movie. So I had to cut a bunch of stuff out, and it kind of took away from the story, but we were still able to use some great shots using color to show kind of like emotion and such, and it turned out really well, I think.
Now, Slater, being a senior, how was your past experiences?
Well,
48 hours film challenge.
Last year, the first time I did it, like y'all, we were unprepared. So Neary actually helped us out a lot on that one, but it was much easier to do because it was a noir film. And so basically we just had to put some random mystery together and then black and white it, and then you had a noir film. Yeah,
Better than ours.
All right.
Here's Slater's video. Whoa, Slater, what do you have here?
I have the Best Director Award from the 48-Hour Film Challenge Award Ceremony.
Yeah, your video definitely deserves it.
Well, thank you.
Slater,
Yes.
what would you like to tell the upcoming Res members about 48-Hour Film Challenge?
Well, I would say have something ready to go. You might want to do a little bit of planning can go a long way. And we had not planned a whole lot, but we had at least planned like the idea of what we wanted to do and the way that we wanted it to go out. So a little planning goes a long way. And I would also say just have fun, you know? Because honestly, if you're not having fun, that really reflects on the movie that you're making. So, because if everyone's upset, if everyone's doing things, then, you know, the movie kind of shows that. And it like shows that, well, the audience isn't going to have fun either. So, I would say that.
Congratulations on your trophy.
Well, thank you so much.
And I hope you go far in your directing.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, AHS, and see you next time.
And now a word from our sponsor, Tribal Tees.
For all your shirts,
hoodies,
senior pictures,
and graphic design needs.
see Tribal Tees.
Come join the tribe.
And now a word from our other sponsor, Johnson County Pipe.
Johnson County Pipe Supply is a family-owned and operated manufacturing company providing local jobs for over a decade. Our industry-leading position in the ever-growing construction industry is also seeking self-motivated, hard-working individuals with integrity. No experience necessary, just a willing attitude, and bilingual is a plus. So if you're looking to work in a year-round manufacturing, safe, friendly environment with competitive pay and full-time benefits, look no further than down the pipeline, just off 67 on County Road 209, and tell them you saw this ad at the stadium. An independent company, the Thompson Pipe Group. Must be 18 to apply, must apply in person.
Well, it's time for this week's general announcements.
Prom tickets are on sale in the office for $50, so go get some while you can.
And get your yearbooks while you still can, and the deadline is coming up soon. That's all for this week, AHS. Let those spring times ring, and until next time, I'm Corey Bueling.
And I'm Tiffany Flanagan.
And this is
The Res. Don't look at me.
I will. It's okay. I'll say it anyways.
One thing I'll be keeping track of. Hey, Zach.
Okay.
How is it?
All right. What? No, it's later. I can't read it. Interesting. Okay, let's go. Finally.